Everybody, Jim and Chris here to talk about Comic-Con and the 5 movies we can't wait to see. Count them 5 that we're hoping and expecting some of these will actually be there. Let's start with the ones that we do know are going to be there. First of all, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some of this now. We've seen, the people from IGN have seen 15 minutes of the movie already. Yeah. But excited to see what else they have to bring at Comic-Con. It's definitely one of those movies that is piquing our curiosity.
Yeah.
Turtle design, do you like it? Do you not like it?
The whole Michael Bay factor. I mean, I do think that the closer we get to the movie, the more the real hardcore Turtle fans, perhaps their initial disgust with the movie seem to start ebbing away. I do think that there's some now palpable excitement amongst some of the fans. What do you think the odds are of Megan Fox coming out to do a wave at Comic-Con?
I think she'll be there in some capacity, probably. Yeah. I'm secretly kind of excited for this movie. I kind of think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be bad at all. I think it's going to be fun, actually.
Well, some of the folks that I know who have seen it, including Greg Katzman, who wrote it up for IGN, did say that it's very much an action comedy. And that it's, if you want the tone to be like the Turtles cartoon and stuff like that, that it's close to that. So it does sound like Ninja Turtles will have its moment there at the Paramount presentation.
The thing I love about Comic-Con too is you are in a room of fans, and so it's like really, really hard to not be excited. Your movie is tanking big time if you announce it to a room of fans and they're like,
it's a golf clap.
Crickets, because those guys are cranked up. They're there to see cool stuff.
Yeah. And, they've been waiting all day in the giant Hall H that's there.
And so I want to experience that sort of excitement for that movie.
Now, another big movie that's coming to Comic-Con is Sin City, Frank Miller's Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
Yep.
This is a long-awaited sequel, and this is how long we've been covering Comic-Con. I remember when the first one was at Comic-Con, 8 years ago?
8 years.
Now, that's a long time to wait for a sequel. How do you think the crowd will kind of react now? There might be a bit of a generational difference of, some of the younger folks who are going to be at Comic-Con, maybe they discovered the movie later. I don't know. What do you think?
Perhaps there's a lot of old school Frank Miller fans in the comics community, obviously. And
he's going to be at Comic-Con from what we know.
Yeah, and when Comic-Con has kind of started to drift more and more towards big studio movies and stuff like that, you do still have the base of people who go there for the love of comics. So you do have Frank Miller fans there, and I think that's the group that's been there the whole time. Right. Now, it is an interesting thing, the 8 years off from in between sequels. It doesn't happen very often.
How important then do you think making a big splash at Comic-Con is for Sin City 2 in terms of generating buzz and sort of look, it's a late summer movie, so right there it's got a good shot at success, I think. But
I think it's important, but it's not. I don't think it's super important. I think the only thing that could be a problem is if it's The Spirit or something like that, where it just falls flat. Because I felt like The Spirit coming out of Comic-Con had no life, just because it was what is this? But everything I've seen from this movie makes it feel like the original, and I think people are interested in more of that. I think I personally want to see it.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and I am excited to see sort of what they bring footage-wise from the film.
I'm happy it got delayed, because in between we've got 2 Machete movies.
Yeah. Well, this one, I can't wait to see what Eva Green does, and to see Mickey Rourke back as Marv.
Josh
Brolin as the new Dwight. So I'm really stoked for this one. I hope it works.
Yeah.
A movie making its final Comic-Con appearance, The Hobbit, Battle of Five Armies.
Man. If you believe that, I've got some marshland to sell you in New Zealand.
Let's just say The Hobbit's been at enough Comic-Cons now that it used to just be one movie once upon a time.
But I don't think... so you're just saying The Hobbit in general. I don't think they're done with Middle-earth by any stretch of the imagination.
Really?
Much as sort of Harry Potter has found new life with Fantastic Beasts, I think we're going to start seeing some, maybe not written by Tolkien
so line up now,
set in the Lord of the Rings universe. But for this movie, it is a swan song. It's Peter Jackson. This is his final, most likely his final Lord of the Rings movie. Yeah. And this whole cast that's been developed for many, many years now.
And some of the folks who are new to the universe of Tolkien. And by new, I mean like there've only been 2 movies, so
just the last
you get
10
somebody
years.
like Benedict Cumberbatch and Lee Pace, Evangeline Lilly. I think Comic-Con for them will be a very fun experience. I know they've been there before, but to be part of something that's as massive as Tolkien and be there for the final of the Hobbit movies, I do think it's going to be, I am expecting kind of a poignant moment or two on stage, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it'll get the big standing O as it leaves and everything.
I felt Peter Jackson thought he was done with the trilogy after Return of the King, and then when he was brought back into it, I feel like it reinvigorated his love of Middle Earth and stuff. But this, I think, is truly the end, and so I think you're right. There'll be some emotion there at the panel, and I'm excited to see like what comes out of it. I want to see more Smaug too.
Well, and I guess I'm looking forward to this panel in the way I look forward to the last episode of a beloved TV series, just that moment of closure with it and all that. Also coming to Comic-Con is Marvel Studios now. I think it's a pretty safe bet that Avengers Age of Ultron is going to be their big splash there.
Well, here's
They've been filming for months.
Your biggest evidence of that is that it was on the cover of Entertainment Weekly, and we
don't
saw
end up
Ultron,
on
and
Entertainment
it said
Weekly.
Comic-Con preview right there. I mean, I think we
yeah.
can kind of probably.
I think it's a safe bet at this point.
It's going to be there now. Who's going to be there? Do you think the whole cast of Avengers?
I bet you they want to make this splash because they don't have really footage from anything else to show, and I do think Ant-Man doesn't start filming till August, and Michael Douglas said he's going to be at Comic-Con for Ant-Man. So I'm sure maybe they'll have the Ant-Man guys will come out and do a wave, but the show is going to be Avengers 2, and I do think that there was a little brief preview of footage shown at an event recently in the UK that was part of the 17 minutes of Guardians of the Galaxy that was released. And our own Chris Tilley saw that, and I do think maybe that sizzle reel, hopefully they'll show more than just that 2 minutes of it. But,
I'm thinking they will, actually. I'm thinking this is their coming out party for Avengers 2, and they're going to make a big deal out of it. Avengers 2, final Phase 2 movie, right?
Yeah.
So we get Guardians, then we get Avengers 2, and then it's on to
Phase 3.
And we might see something from Phase 3, at least a little bit.
I'm thinking maybe we'll get a shot of Paul Rudd in the suit of Ant-Man. And I would be very surprised if there wasn't some sort of official announcement on what those Phase 3 movies are. We already obviously Doctor Strange is one of them. They hired the director. We all know that. But will they actually announce who Doctor Strange is going to be played by?
Is there going to be an Iron Man thing there? Is there going to be something on Cap? Is there going to be Black Panther? They could pull something out of the hat. That's
maybe Tom Hiddleston will show up again. He pretty much owned the whole sequence of Marvel stuff last year's con.
Yeah.
But the one thing given Marvel a possible run for their money this year in terms of walking out of there with the biggest headlines is going to be the same thing that kind of stole their thunder last year. And it hasn't been announced as part of Warner Brothers' official announcement of what's going. This was absent, but I'm pretty sure it was the case last year too. And what we're talking about is Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Let's just call it Batman versus
Dawn
Superman.
of the Planet of the Justice.
Yes, that's right. We're pretty sure it's been filming now for several months in Detroit. We think that our theory is that they're going to come out, they're going to bring the cast out like the first Avengers movie did, get that moment of basically your heroes on stage together doing the wave, and that'll be the story coming out of Comic-Con, and maybe release a teaser or something.
I think what we're going to see from that panel, if they want to make a splash, I think we're going to see Wonder Woman in costume. And I think we might see some of the other members of the Justice League. And then the sort of, I don't know if this is going to happen, but I think it will, is I think they will officially put Justice League out there and say, this is for sure confirmed. Here's one we're thinking of releasing. So we can
stop bugging Jason Momoa about Aquaman. I wouldn't be surprised if tied in with the Comic-Con panel is, the Batman, Superman official site going live, or a Justice League teaser site going live, or key art being sent out there, official photo, something. I really think, and if they don't, I really feel like they would have kind of blown a chance to really maximize the amount of viral activity you're going to be able to get out of this huge fan event.
Last year, it blew up. It was like a shockwave across Comic-Con when Batman
and
versus
they were
Superman
prepared
happened.
too. They had the logo ready. They had the announcement ready to go.
And so I don't think they'll be able to do that same splash, but I do think they are able to, because they go before Marvel. They're going to be on Saturday morning, and Marvel's going to be on Saturday evening. And I don't think anything is really going to steal Marvel's thunder. I think Marvel has their own thing, and they play their game, and Avengers 2 is going to be the biggest movie in the world. Right. But they do have a chance to say, hey, we've got a team of heroes, and our heroes are awesome.
It's going to be a reality, really, at that point, because right now we've only got the two shots of moody Batman and rainy Superman, and I think this is their chance to kind of show the more superheroic aspect of this thing and really get that epic sense of two titans clashing. Oh my God, I actually said clashing of the titans.
So anyway, if that doesn't happen, we'd be really, really surprised. If it doesn't happen, we'd be like, why did you not do that?
I know. Well, hopefully, and I think it's a safe bet they'll do something there. But those are our 5 movies that we can't wait to see the panels for it at San Diego Comic-Con. So for all Comic-Con coverage and everything on all these movies we're talking about, keep it locked here at IGN.